I hope you're well during this COVID pandemic. I know you're all busy working to get ready to go online for most of your fall classes. I'm excited to bring to you the learning resources that we've put together for online course development based on learning sciences. We know that the major ingredients for successful learning, regardless of the venue, it's curiosity. And by the way, curiosity comes natural. You have to have a reason not to be curious. But you want to teach in such a way that brings forth inquiry, that shows your own curiosity for the topic, that takes the student to your cutting edge and then encourages and invites them to go further. Sociality, a sense of belonging, a sense of peer learning, essential. And there is so much learning science on sociality of learning just now. Emotion. There is no perception without emotional attunement, engagement, curiosity. Disruptive emotions such as fear and anxiety block learning, but without emotion, there is no real perception. And authenticity, that the students really authentically want to be engaged and learn. They mustn't be distracted by getting the A game or spending too much time figuring out what on earth the assignment means. And finally, failure. We don't like to think about failure as teachers or students, but yet all experiential learning has a seed of failure in it, because it means to learn from experience, you turn around your pre-understandings and what you thought was the right thing, and you get a new insight and a new level of access to the situation, a new level of learning. I'm reminded of a story that a teacher told at a National League for Nursing convention many years ago, but it stuck with me all this time. She, like many of us, entered her teaching right after her doctoral program. She said, I try to teach my students everything I had learned in my doctoral program within that first semester. She was being a little exaggerative here, but I also copied the way my teachers had taught me, and it was a kind of trickle-down toughness. I was strict, no holds barred, lots of content, lots of good organization, and I expected the students to give back to me what I was teaching. Well, their anxiety just kept spiraling. The second semester was even worse. And then early in the semester, I got a call from a panicked student that an elderly patient was refusing to put on her back brace to get up to go to the commode. And yet she had fractured vertebrae and she needed her back brace. So I went because I understood the student needed an intervention, and I said, why don't you just shadow me? So I went into the room, and this was a frightened but delightful older lady who had fallen, who it had taken quite a while to find her after she fell. So we talked all about that. And then I found out that that brace was gouging her. So I just bent the little prongs, the not so small prongs that were gouging her. And then first thing you know, she was pirouetting onto the bedside commode. And I'm thinking, well, this is a great learning demonstration. All things are going well. I told the patient, who by now I had developed a really nice rapport with, that I'd be back and check in on her. She seemed so relaxed and pleased. So then I went out the hall with a student, and I thought, well, this student will be quite impressed. The student looked at me in awe, and she said, oh, I wish you could treat us that way. And it just changed everything for me. I realized that I had not been authentic in my teaching. Here I wanted to teach caring practices, but I wasn't getting to know my students. I wasn't reassuring them. I wasn't discovering what their learning difficulties were. So I encourage you in your online teaching that you find a place for first-person experience near narratives, such as this teacher told me, but about clinical, and that students are able to share this learning with one another. In my classes, I've had such great theory development directly from the students' immersion in learning from practice. And the secondary lesson for that is that practice is a source of learning in its own right. And I encourage you to try narrative learning with your students about clinical practice, and that you increase the sharing between the students of what they're learning so that you increase that social small group learning. Good luck in your online adventure. Keep us posted on how it goes, both the successes and the failures.